Today I'm here with Carol Tarr from Atomic Spices. Carol, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Sure, I'm so excited to learn about what you do. So first of all, how did you get into the art of making spices?
Well, it was actually a necessity because I had an experience with a dentist here in the center who hit a nerve and knocked out my taste buds.
Wow.
For a full year. And it's a miracle they came back at all. But for a year, I could taste nothing but cardboard and Granny Smith apples. Not because I was eating cardboard and Granny Smith apples, but because everything was tasting like that. So I was completely without any flavor in my life. So I had to go looking for it. And spices were a natural way via the nose and olfaction to override that loss of taste.
Amazing. So something really good came out of what happened at the dentist.
Yeah, sort of like a mad scientist experiment gone wrong.
Yes.
But then atomic spices happened.
Atomic spices, yes. So you use a cold smoking technique. Can you
Yes,
tell me a little bit what that means and what that entails?
Cold smoking is a form of traditional smoking where you keep all of the temperatures under 20 degrees so that you don't burn off or compromise the essential oils or health benefits of the spices. Now, I'm the only one that smokes the spices, although people have smoked pepper before, and I smoke cherry pepper because it's the nicest pepper to smoke. And what I found is that by using spices and smoking them, that they are a natural carrier for bringing that smoke flavor, because I wrap them thoroughly. It takes 7 days, 10 days to get some really done nicely. And it's a slow, cold process, and it carries a flavor into whatever dish you want. But for example, with the smoked pepper, it's best to crack it over the top right before you eat it, so you don't lose it, and then it goes up the nose. And that's where, it triggers the brain. Oh my God, something smoked. Oh, this takes me back to my grandmother's house.
Right.
Because the olfaction is hardwired to that part of the brain with memories.
Very cool. Yeah, I think everybody does equate a good smoky smell to barbecue or something homemade or grandma's house. And I understand now you're going to actually make something for us?
I sure am. I'm going to make a spiced apple cider, which is perfect for this time of year. And with these spicings that I have, because I'm going to start selling the spices separately, you can also use it for mulled wine and hot chocolate. So I'm putting in some smoked Ceylon cinnamon. You want to go ahead and just get it really full of spices in here. And it's better to have more than less.
Right. But just one stick of cinnamon. Oh no, you have a couple.
I have a few in there, yeah. And some star anise. Now star anise gives a very strong flavor. And it will override. Can you smell that? It smells like drop, right?
It smells amazing.
It smells like licorice. And what else should we put in here? I brought some of my smoked vanilla bean. You have to smell this.
Ah, so good.
It's a smoked Tahitian bourbon vanilla bean. I have my own way of doing it because you will burn it if you try to use a regular stovetop smoker. And I like to use a bit of clove that I have with me. So you can see it's really healthy.
It is. It's healthy. It's all natural. It's organic.
Yes. The apple's juice is from the local orchard of Olmenhorst.
Nice.
And we'll use some dried orange peel. It's nice to have a little bit of citrus. So you're going to get all these wonderful flavors together. But I like to use the vanilla. People usually don't think about putting vanilla in, but you know how anything you bake tastes better?
Right.
A little bit of vanilla just because you want that fullness in the flavor, because part of experienced taste is all those different parts of the tongue. You know, the sweet and the sour and the pungent and the bitter. And of course, we have to talk about umami and all those other senses. You can smell it.
It smells so good. It smells like autumn.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it? And I like to use just a squeeze of citrus, just for the acid, because it's part of the complete flavor.
Okay. And then are these things better the longer you let them simmer, or is there a maximum time? Do you need to keep it on?
As a mom, I can tell you don't always have as much time as you would like for all the flavors to come together. So It gets better the longer you keep it.
Okay.
But you can also just bring it to a boil and then give it to everyone. And if there's anything left over, you enjoy it later.
Yes.
It tastes better.
So you've traveled all around the world. You have experience cooking all over the world. So can you talk to me about the places you've been and how those places have influenced what you do here in Amsterdam?
Oh my goodness, such a story. I think I first left, I took off when I was about 18, 19 to do a college study in Kyoto, Japan. And that's when I really learned to cook because I had stayed in a homestay. And my job there was to make the salad dressings. I learned to make a really good Japanese style sesame-based salad dressing, and to make the curry. Yes, it was because it's Japanese curry, which is influenced, of course, by the Chinese, influenced by the Indians, but it's the way the Japanese like it. And then from there, I started getting asked to make American classics. So I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never been asked to cook before. So I started making cream sauces, and I found an old Betty Crocker cookbook and a Better Homes and Gardens cookbook, and I just started working through it, making meatloaf and chicken and dumplings, and I learned to cook for the Japanese palate, the classics. And from there I went on, because I stayed in school forever, it seems. I was a professional student. And I was in Auckland, New Zealand, and Salvador da Bahia, Brazil.
Well, you live in Amsterdam, and we're not known for having a whole lot of space in our kitchens or our balconies or our gardens or anything like that. So talk to me about what that entails here, and maybe some changes you've had to make here, because space just doesn't exist.
You're right. In Amsterdam, less is more, it seems, and it actually inspires creativity to get around these problems. For example, I'm a bakfiets mama with my 3 boys, so I make my deliveries with my bakfiets. But it's huge. It's got the 3 wheels.
Right.
So I have actually more space inside my bakfiets than I would in a car trunk, for sure. And I just, I can park anywhere and roll, wear my high heels and just teeter in and just look really professional, drop something off, teeter off, get back on the bike and go.
So tell me where our viewers can get your spices.
Well, they're different verkooppunten, so I was going to use the Dutch word for that, but there are different shops around town that have it. But the easiest way to get it, with extensive collection and to read about it, is via my website, atomicspices.com. Not .nl,
okay.
.com, atomicspices.com. And you can also find me at the Holland, at the local indie goods market.
Great, well thank you so much for sharing this.
You're welcome. My pleasure.